anyone in any shape, form of life to come and gain the knowledge and wisdom for what spirituality really has to offer.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I'm Rosalind. I'm the program manager at My Body Spirit Festivals. It is so good to have you here with us. Please drop in the chat at the bottom where you're coming in from. We want to know where in the world you're joining us from, because we have got such a treat for you this evening. Michelle Peter says UK, Diraj, UK. Keep going. We want to know where you're coming from. Today, we've got such an epic guest for you. Those who have followed Blake D. Bauer for a while will know how special he is. He's going to be joining us at the My Body Spirit Festival at Olympia in London on the 23rd and 24th of May this year. It's just 23 days away until we take over Olympia in Kensington. Drop a comment if you're going to be joining us. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be so much under one roof. Yoga, crystals, Tai Chi, manifestation, moonology. Oh my God, I can't even get through everything that's coming for you, but we can't wait to have you. And tonight is a very, very special retreat evening where you're going to learn the practical secrets to long-lasting self-love. Keep dropping in the comments where you're coming from. We want you to be involved this evening. It's going to be so epic. So Blake D. Bauer is an author that most of you have followed and have read his book, You Were Not Born to Suffer. He is an international best-selling and widely translated author of You Were Not Born to Suffer. He's helped tens of thousands of people with coaching, psychiatry, self-love, mindfulness, based on his personal experience of overcoming addiction, adversity, and his professional work of over 100,000 people worldwide. Drop the comments if you've met him before, if you've been to one of his book events. We'd love to hear what you've got to say. If any of you remember the magazine Soul and Spirit, I was the editor, and Blake and I had many lovely email exchanges when I used to commission him for self-love features and quizzes, and it was all happening. It was amazing. And his effective applications of mind, body, and spirit to the publishing industry worldwide has been huge. Keep dropping in the comments where you're coming in from. Keep dropping in what you're most excited for tonight and his 3 talks across the weekend at My Body Spirit. It's going to be epic. He's doing 1 in the Wellbeing Studio and 2 on the main stage. I can't wait to have him. We're so lucky to have him with us here tonight. I've got Suzanne from Tennessee. Hello, Julia from Lancashire, UK. Keep going. I'll bring him in just a moment. It would be lovely. So the way this evening is going to work is I'll bring him in a moment, and he'll be doing a short meditation to get you all in the zone. I hope you're sitting very comfortably and you've got nice space, and I've got my notebook ready as well to take all the notes for this evening. And then he'll lead us into a talk about the practical secrets to trusting yourself and self-loving that will last your whole lifetime. Hi, Donna, you're joining us here in the UK. Anyone here from the US? Anyone here from Australia? Drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you. So after the self-love talk, we're going to have a Q&A. So if there's any questions that arise for you, make a note in the comment box and we'll make sure we save them and we'll bring them in to make sure that Blake answers your question for this evening. So that's going to be an amazing evening for you all this evening. Okay, are we ready to bring Blake into the stage? Hi, Blake.
Hi, Rosalind. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's so good to see you.
You too. You too. Can everyone hear us all right? Everyone good?
How's my sound? Can I get a couple comments, please? Just checking in. Can you hear me okay? I'm used to doing these on Zoom where I can actually see people and ask for a response. So I might ask you to, engage with the comments a little bit tonight. Sounds okay? Thank you, Michelle.
Michelle says good. I can definitely hear you.
It's loud enough?
Anne says yes.
A little low? Okay. Let's see. Okay.
We've got a loud and clear here. We like that.
Is that good? I turned it up just a little bit. Does that sound good?
That sounds great. That sounds great. Any questions from anyone so far? We want you to be as involved as possible. As Blake said, we're normally doing these on Zoom so we can see you, but you don't need your cameras on, which is great. You can just relax. JJ says, I'm not getting anything, but Julie says better. JJ, anything now? Mandy says nothing for me. Maybe try rejoining, guys.
Yeah, and then obviously we want to check our speakers and all good. Thanks, Donna. Suzanne, that might be a service thing.
JJ's refreshed. It's working now. We love that.
Great. Okay, it looks like a few people have rejoined and that has helped. So thank you, everybody, for sharing. Oh, Susie, no sound?
Okay, try rejoining with us, Susie. That might be a StreamYard.
And while we just attend to anybody who's checking in, this is a great time to go to the restroom. If you need to go to the restroom, this is a good time to get some water. And then it would be great for everybody to have a pen and a paper. So if you don't have that, this is a great moment to grab something while a few of our guests work out their connection issues. Okay, great, Suzanne. So it looks like anybody who signs out and signs back in, that's helping. Carolina, you might want to do that. Susie, you might want to do that.
Blake is quieter.
Thanks, Numi. Let me check this out. Give me a second to adjust it.
Thanks for that, JJ. He refreshed the browser without leaving. Okay, it could be a browser thing. All right, Caroline.
Okay, how's that on my sound? Is that better? Naomi, does that sound better? I turned it up a bit.
Great. Mandy's hearing, seeing you now.
Okay, great. Thank you, everybody, for your patience as we work this out. I don't think Mercury is retrograde at the moment. Rosalind, do you know?
It's not at the moment, but there must be some planets that are playing somehow.
Yes, Rosalind got affected by them too today. So
I feel your pain, guys. But the beauty of doing an in-person event like the Mind Body Spirit Festival in London is the fact that we don't have to deal with tech issues because we're all in person. So that's one good reason to come to the show.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. If everyone's good, I will leave you with Blake's beautiful meditation. I cannot wait for that.
Thanks, Rosalind. Is my sound good to you?
It sounds great to me.
Okay, great. All right, everybody. Again, we were just having a little bit of a slow start because I want to make sure everybody is comfortable and can hear. So again, if you need the restroom or some water or a pen, I'll get started in about 2 minutes. If if you're already, fully settled and present, it's a good moment to just start taking some nice deep breath. Great. Okay. Thank you, Naomi. And I'll just check my mic. So if you're sitting here, just a great opportunity to just start to let go of your day. It's I'm in Los Angeles at the moment. It's about 11:17 here, and I know it's about 7:17 in the UK. So it's the evening time now. So I know for those of you over in London, you can start to relax and let go of your day. Thank you, Naomi. I'm not quite sure what the mic is doing, but here we go. Let's check this. Okay. Thanks, Naomi. Okay, we'll just give it another minute just to, make sure everybody's settled in. I know we're hearing from a few people here. We had about 107 people come on for tonight, for today. And so I wish I could see you and connect with you. And thank you for those of you who shared with us where you're signing in from. It's nice to be able to connect with you. So in a minute, I'll guide us into a pretty deep meditation experience. And so I encourage you to, find a comfortable spot and begin to relax. And if your phone is near you, I suggest putting it on silent or airplane mode. And if you're in a room in your home, maybe you can close the door just to make sure that you have some peace for yourself and can relax. And, I want everybody who's present for us tonight to be able to have a safe, nourishing experience where you can let go and really receive the information and the energy and experience a reset for yourself. So as Rosalind said, we're going to start with a meditation that actually is going to be a little bit deeper. And for some of you might be quite powerful. And it will include some simple mind training instruction. We will do some very deep breathing exercises, and you'll also have an opportunity to reset and expand your energy body, your energy system as well. So again, because I can't see anybody on video, I'm going to talk just a little slow to give everybody an opportunity to settle in here. And then after the meditation, I'm going to go through some of we call them secrets or keys or habits that represent an optimal, loving, healthy relationship to yourself from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. So if you think about it practically and logically, and this is true for all of us, from the moment we wake up every day, we're either hurting ourselves with our thoughts and our habits, or we're taking really good care of ourselves and loving ourselves and treating ourselves in a healthy and worthy way. And unfortunately, as most of you know, we never learned this growing up. And so most of us operate on a daily basis in a very self-destructive or harsh way towards ourselves, mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically, spiritually. And so today, I'm going to share with you a number of the secrets, keys, laws, habits that I have personally spent over 23 years trying to discover and refine selfishly for myself so that I could be well and heal my own suffering and the trauma and suffering that I inherited genetically and environmentally. And then I've spent the past 2 decades sharing this information with other people, refining it so that it can be as clear and simple and practical as possible. So tonight I'll give you as much as I can so that you can have a breakthrough and a shift, moving forward from today and starting with tomorrow. We're going to do this meditation, and I have a video meditation online that when I talk to Rosalind later, we can either share it with you here in the chat, or we can send an email with a link to it so you have something to help guide you in the morning as you move forward with one of the practices I'm going to encourage everybody to do. And then once we get through a few of these secrets or laws or habits or keys, then we'll do a Q&A, and I'll answer as many questions as the Mind, Body, Spirit team has time for and that we're all online for. So we're going to go ahead now and we're going to dive in. So I'm going to encourage everybody to find a spot that's comfortable for you, whether you're on a couch or a chair or in your bed. And in a moment, I'll ask you to close your eyes, and we're going to breathe through our nose. So I'm going to ask you to inhale and exhale slowly and deeply through your nose. And obviously, if your nose is clogged for any reason, you can breathe through your mouth. And overall, I just want you to let go and not be rigid with yourself and just relax into this experience. And like a lazy river, I'm going to guide you down this path, and we'll have a very sensitive, clear, practical, direct, no BS conversation. Okay? So here we go. So if you would, go ahead and close your eyes, and please put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And I'm going to ask you to start taking some slow, deep breaths through your nose, please. And the idea is that you want to inhale through your nose and see if you can fill your abdomen, so your belly, so below your diaphragm, you're stretching and opening your diaphragm. And then see if you can fill your lungs and your back and your shoulders, your chest, your throat. So much of healing has to do with opening in the present moment where we have closed down or shut down. And so this manifests psychologically, but it also manifests physically where we're shut down in our body and contracted. So energy's not flowing, blood is not flowing, our emotions, our subconscious is not flowing. And if you believe you have a soul or a spirit, that soul or spirit or that light inside you is not flowing properly because we have closed down or shut down, and now there's blocks and stagnation. So with each deep breath, start to feel your abdomen, your body opening, and breathe into any areas that you feel are stuck or sticking, that are hard to open and stretch. And you want to start to feel the visceral experience of stretching from the inside out. And this is actually a secret to self-love and self-acceptance, is inhaling slowly and deeply so that you're literally expanding physically and energetically inside, and you're making space for all the parts of you, the light parts of you that you don't mind people seeing, and also the dark parts of you, the shadow parts of you that you might hide from yourself or you might hide from other people. And one of the secrets to self-acceptance and thus self-love is inhaling slowly and deeply and making space for all of the parts of you, not to make them wrong or deny them or reject them. So I'm going to encourage everybody to please take some nice, slow, deep breaths, reconnecting with your body, and wherever you are, in your home or in your car or in your office. I can't see everybody, so I don't know where you are. So allow yourself to come more fully into your room, into your body, wherever you are, through these slow, deep breaths, making space for everything that's present inside you. So that the key is slow, deep breaths, stretching and expanding from the inside out. And to help you bring you more fully into your body, we're going to do just a brief body scan. So if you would, go ahead and feel your feet. I'm going to ask everybody to please bring their attention, their awareness to their feet, and then to your ankles, and then please to your lower legs, your calves and your shins, and make sure you're taking some slow, deep breaths. You've decided to do this tonight, so please let go of everything else. Just be here, please, with this experience. And then please feel your knees. Then please feel your thighs on your chair, your floor, your couch, your bed, wherever you are, wherever you're sitting or laying. And please feel your hips and your butt, your glutes. Take a nice deep breath. Breathe into that lower part of your body. And then please come up to your lower abdomen, your belly button area, your lower back. Take a nice deep breath, just bringing your attention more fully into your body. And through doing this, you're taking the energy, you're taking the attention out of your head, so out of the thoughts, and out of your chest, so away from anxiety and whatever's going on in your chest, down further into your body. So again, and then if you would, please go ahead and feel your solar plexus area. Some people know that as where your third chakra, your third energy center is. It's below your heart, but above your belly button. Take a nice deep breath into the middle of your belly, just noticing how you feel. You might have just had dinner, or some people over here might have had breakfast or lunch. Notice if you can feel that. And then please come up to your chest and your heart. Take a nice deep breath into your chest, your heart area. And behind your heart, behind your chest, so the middle of your back. Take a nice deep breath. And then please come up to your shoulders. Feel your shoulders. And then let's come down the arms, please. So feel your biceps and your triceps, the upper arm, and your elbows, and then your forearms, and your wrists, and your hands, and your fingers. Again, just bringing attention, energy into your body, out of your head. See if you can feel the energy in your hands. If you have cold hands, notice that. If you have warm hands, notice that. And then please come up to your throat and your neck and take a nice deep breath. Please come up to your throat and your neck and take a nice deep breath. And then go ahead and come up the back of your head. So feel the back of your head all the way to the top of your head. And then come down, please, to your forehead and your eyes and your nose, your cheeks, your ears. Please see if you can feel your ears. And then your jaw, your teeth, your tongue. And now with your tongue resting on the roof of your mouth, go ahead and take a nice, slow, deep breath, please. Take a nice deep breath and fill your whole abdomen and your whole chest. So all that matters is inhaling as much oxygen as you can. Take as deep of a breath slowly as you can. Fill up. You're regulating your own nervous system. This is a major act of self-love, self-soothing, self-regulation. This is one of the secrets, one of the tools to driving and operating the miracle that you are, the miracle of your being and your body optimally, that unfortunately we have not learned or been conditioned to practice on a regular basis. So nice, slow, deep breaths, please, so you can regulate your own nervous system, self-soothe, give yourself the love that you often look for outside of yourself, that we all do. And then for those of you who are sensitive to energy or are into energy healing or energy medicine, I'm going to invite you into a quick practice around cutting any cords of energy that are running from you to people or situations in your life. So we all have energy that runs from us to our primary relationships, to our place of work, to any situation that needs our attention, demands our attention, is stressful. So I'm going to invite you to imagine disconnecting from all situations right now and all relationships, just letting your life force energy, your power come back to you, so fully in your body. And a couple ways you can connect to this are, which with each inhale, imagine that you're sucking the life force energy back to you like a magnet. With each inhale, you're pulling your energy, pulling your life force back to you into the present moment, your body right here, right now, wherever you are, instead of leaving that part of you, abandoning that part of you in the situation or the relationship that's not in the room where you are right now. And then if you resonate with this, you can imagine even cutting the cords of energy. So some of you could imagine untying knots. Some of you could use a knife or a scissors to cut the cords or cut the rope. Some of you might need a machete or a chainsaw. It might be a really big, hard cord that's hard to break. Whatever you have to do, allow yourself to let go and just give your attention and your energy, your presence fully to yourself for this next hour, hour and a half that we're together. And again, nice, slow, deep breaths, pulling that energy back to you, giving yourself back to you, reclaiming these parts of you that you've abandoned or betrayed or rejected or neglected. Again, breathe them back, pull them back to you. And you'll be able to address whatever you need to when you're done with this experience. And now we're going to go one step deeper, and we're going to use the core teaching that's been passed down for thousands of years. That is the foundation of Buddhist meditation and Zen meditation. And so we're going to stay here with our eyes closed. Our intention is to be aware of our breathing and to feel our whole body sitting here. So feel the breath come in, feel the breath go out, feel your whole body sitting here. And then the technique we're going to use for a few minutes is when you notice that you're thinking about anything or anyone, or you're talking to yourself in any way, please just say in your mind, not out loud, in your mind, please say thinking. And when you say thinking, that is your cue to bring your attention back to your breathing. So focus on your inhale and follow the inhale down into your body. So when you say thinking, you come back to your breathing, bring your attention to your breathing, and feel your body while you inhale and expand. And then feel your body as you exhale and let that breath go. And one of the secrets is to follow the inhale down into your body. So again, you're taking the energy and the attention out of your head, and you follow the inhale, follow the deep inhale breath down into your body, and then feel your whole body sitting where you're sitting. And eventually we want to be able to just sit here and be and rest in that being, just breathing, just aware of our being, aware of our breathing, not feeling like a victim of our thoughts, not feeling like a victim of the voices in our head, not feeling powerless, but feeling empowered in our presence, feeling empowered in our beingness with our breath and our body. And so again, the technique is when you notice that you're thinking about anything or anyone, very gently and kindly, please say the word thinking in your mind. And then that's your cue to shift your focus, shift your attention to your inhale, to your breathing, and feel your whole body sitting here. So every time you say thinking, you're making a choice. You're building a muscle, just like you do at the gym. You're making a choice to build your capacity, the muscle of choosing your breathing in your body, to be in the present rather than tortured by your thoughts in your head. And so again, no matter where your mind goes, very kindly, please say the word thinking. And then that's your cue to shift your attention back to your breathing and feel your whole body sitting here, laying here, wherever you are. And give yourself permission to just let go into that beingness, that presence, that awareness. And some of you might need to hear this, that you are not your thoughts. You are not the voices in your head. You are the awareness, the presence, the light, the consciousness behind your thoughts. So we want to connect to that observer, that awareness, that love, that part of you that can say, oh, I was thinking. And I am bigger than those thoughts. I am not those voices. I am not those thoughts. They're just a small expression of me. And when you notice that you're thinking a lot and you feel like you need to say thinking over and over again, it's okay to just come back to your breathing and feel your body. You don't have to keep saying thinking repetitively. So just keep coming back to slow, deep breathing. Feel your whole body sitting here. Your thoughts, your mind is trying to keep you safe. We're addicted to our thinking. We don't know who we are if we're not thinking. So again, come back to your breath, your body, the greater awareness, which is more you than the voices in your head. And if you notice you get caught up in something, just take some slow, deep breaths, anchor back into your body, ground back into your body. And when you're meditating, if you have a voice that says you're doing it wrong or you're bad at this, that's just a habit of thinking. It's just a unhealthy thought pattern. So treat that the same way. And please just say thinking and come back to your breathing and come back to your body. Again, follow your inhale down into your body. And now together, we're going to do a few more exercises before we come out of the meditation. So the first one is we're going to do a deep breathing exercise. And so together, and again, I can't see everybody, so I'm just going to trust everybody can hear me, and we're going to do this together. I'm going to count to 3, and I'm going to ask everybody to inhale as deeply and fully as they can and fill up with as much oxygen as possible. And when you're full, I'm going to ask you to hold your breath for a little bit, and then I'll say exhale and release and let it go. So that's what we're going to do first. So here we go. On the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to inhale and fill up as fully and deeply as you can. And when you're full, please hold your breath for a little bit. And then I'll say exhale and release, and we'll let our breath go and just totally relax. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, please, as deeply as you can. Fill up. And when you're full, lock it in and hold your breath. And then when you're ready, go ahead and exhale and let that go and release, and let your breathing be natural, please. So let your breathing be natural. And now we're going to do that again. And this time we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to inhale as deeply and fully as we can. We're going to lock in our breath once we're full, and then we're going to hold our breath for a little bit. And then I'm going to say exhale and release. And this time when you exhale, I'm going to ask you to see if you can push the breath or push your energy up into the center of your head. Some of you are familiar with your sixth energy center, your sixth chakra, or your third eye. So the idea is to push the breath, push the energy up into your head. And just, if you've never done this, give it a shot and see how it feels. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Please inhale as deeply as you can. Fill up as deeply as you can. And then once you're full, lock it in and hold your breath. And go ahead and exhale and push the energy, push the breath up into your head, please. And then let your breathing be natural. Just notice what you're feeling. And then we're going to do that again. So on the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to inhale as deep as you can. Fill up. When you're full, lock it in and hold your breath. And then in a little bit, I'll say exhale, release. And when you do, again, let's push the energy, push the breath up towards the center of our head. In Chinese medicine, there is what's called a central channel of energy that runs in front of your spine. So you can push it up your spine if you feel your spine, or you can imagine that in front of your spine, there is a channel of energy, like a tube or a straw that goes straight up towards your brain to the center of your head. And you can send the energy, send the breath up into the center of your head. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Please go ahead and inhale as deep as you can. Fill up. And then lock it in. Hold your breath. And then exhale, push it up into the center of your head, please. And notice how that feels. Let your breathing be natural. We're going to do that one more time. This time we're going to do the same thing. We're going to inhale as deeply as we can. So bring in as much oxygen as you can into your belly, chest, back, shoulders. Really fill up. When you're full, lock it in, hold your breath. And then this time when we let go, we're going to exhale, we're going to push it up. And this time we're going to push it out the top of our head, the crown of the head, like a dolphin or a whale. Imagine you have a spout at the top of your head. For those of you who know about the chakras, this would be your 7th chakra, your 7th energy center, or the crown of your head. See if you can feel yourself pushing the energy, pushing the breath up and out the top of your head. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Please inhale as deep as you can. Fill up. Good. Lock it in. Hold your breath. And exhale, push it up into your head and then out the top of your head. Push it up into your head and out the top of your head. And let your breathing be natural when you're done, and just notice how you're feeling. Okay, and go ahead and relax your breathing, and we're going to do one more aspect to the meditation. And so the last piece I'm going to ask everybody to do is I'm going to ask everybody to please put their hands on their chest, if you would. Please hold your heart. Please put your hands on your chest. And if you've never done this before, just give it a shot. If you're alone, no one can see you, even if it feels weird. Just give it a chance. I'm going to ask you to hold your heart with both hands, and we're going to say a couple things to ourselves. You can say it out loud if you want because you're alone, or you can say it inside, whatever feels good to you. And the first thing I'm going to ask you to say, I'm going to ask you to say your first name. And then I'm going to ask you to say, I'm sorry, I forgot that you are a miracle. So say your first name, and please say, I'm sorry, I forgot that you are a miracle. So again, please say your first name, and then please say, I'm sorry, I forgot that you are a miracle. And just notice how that feels. Take some nice deep breaths. And then I'm going to ask you to say, please say your first name, and then say, I promise to take better care of you. Please say your first name, and please say, I promise to take better care of you. And please feel your hands against your chest and your heart, really connecting into yourself, the core of your being, your essence, your soul. And then I'm going to ask you to connect to the little you, your inner child. So you would say little, like I'd say little Blake. So say little and then your name, and please say, I love you. So talking to the little boy or the little girl, please say, I love you. So connect to the little boy, please connect to the little girl, and say, I love you. So again, connecting to that little boy, that little girl, please say, I love you. Okay, and then when you're ready, go ahead and bring your hands down and just take a couple nice deep breaths. Please take a couple nice deep breaths. And then when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes, and we'll come back into the conversation. And if I could, just to know you're with me when you get a minute, could you just send me a note in the chat just to let me know you're back from the meditation? Would love to just know I've got everybody coming back into the space. How are we feeling? Is everybody doing okay after the meditation? I'm back. Thank you. Thank you, Anne. How are we feeling? Are we feeling good? Were you able to hear me and follow along? Thank you, Michelle. Thanks, Mandy. Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Julie. I understand, Suzanne. Okay, great. Thank you, Rosalind. It's okay to feel emotional. We're all out in the world. We keep our heart closed. Thanks, Carolina. Michelle, thank you. Thanks, Michelle. And we feel like we have to keep our heart closed. But our heart is closed to ourselves. And when our chest is closed, our heart's closed, the blood and the energy is not flowing fully, and that hurts us. So great. Thanks, Julia. Thanks, Aaron. Thank you, everybody, for keeping in touch this way. So I know you're with me. Thank you. Thanks, Naomi. All right, here we go. We're going to dive in, and I'm going to ramble for a little while, and then we'll get into a Q&A. So this is the moment where if you have a pen and paper, a diary, a journal, you want to grab your pen and your journal. If anybody needs a little water, this is a good moment. If you need to empty your bladder, this is a good moment. I'll wait just a minute before I get going. I used to teach a lot of meditation classes in person, and I would say, speak now or forever hold your pee. So for everybody here, speak now or forever hold your pee, or go to the restroom real quick. Thanks everybody for your patience. I'll get started here literally in just a minute. Okay, here we go. So at a high level, for those of you, I know there are some of the people here have spent time with me before, and so you know where I'm coming from with a lot of what I'm about to say, but I want to start at a high level for those of you who are new to my work or to spending time with me, and frame why I focus so much on how do we have an optimal, healthy, loving relationship to ourselves in the present. And for me, as someone who suffered deeply and hit my rock bottom early in life, being tortured mentally and emotionally, coming off of drug and alcohol addiction and having to deal with a lot of family and childhood and genetic pain, suffering, and trauma that I had to overcome to just be a functional, healthy, good human being on the planet. I realized that in my quest for healing and purpose and my educational journey, that I had really just been looking for love and learning how to love myself. And I looked around and I realized that most people never learn how to have a healthy, loving, kind, respectful relationship to themselves mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And over time, that actually leads to the processes that cause disease, physical illness and disease in the body, and mental and emotional disease and suffering in the mind and the heart. And unfortunately, as children, none of us really learn how to have a healthy relationship to ourselves, or in other words, how to love ourselves. And that is primarily because our parents don't know. If you think about your mom and your dad, they likely never learned how to love themselves or have a healthy, optimal, kind, respectful, functional relationship to their mind, to their heart, their emotions, and to their physical body. And then that translated into how they treated you, how they treated your siblings, if you have siblings, how they treated your other parent, the other parents and adults in your life and caretakers. And I work with a lot of doctors and surgeons and psychiatrists, and they never learned how to love themselves or how to have a healthy, optimal, kind, respectful relationship to themselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. And that yet those are the people we're going to for help. We're going to the doctor to help alleviate our suffering. We're going to the therapist or the psychiatrist, looking for relief from our suffering. And I often get a behind the scenes look into their lives where it's very clear that they too never learned how to love themselves or have a healthy, optimal, kind relationship to themselves. And so they're struggling with the exact same issues that I am and that you are. And so I hope from this you hear that even if you sometimes feel like there's something wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you. The only issue is we've never learned how to love ourselves. We've never learned how to honor and value and take optimal care of ourselves from the moment we wake up till the moment we go to bed. And so when we're healing, one of the keys is to be able to coach ourselves to this place of 100% accountability and 100% personal responsibility. But we need a mindset and a framework that is practical and empowering for us. And so what I want to offer you today or tonight is this idea of, what if all of our suffering is a cry from our soul, from our body, from our mind, from our subconscious, asking for more healthy love? What if our suffering, so physical disease and suffering, mental and emotional suffering, spiritual, existential suffering, is a cry from our body, from our mind, from our soul, from our subconscious, asking us to love ourselves more every day, to value ourselves more every day, to stick up for ourselves more every day, to live in integrity and alignment more every day, to honor what we feel is our purpose on this planet every day? And when you ask that question and you frame your daily experiences and your daily challenges through that lens, it puts you in the driver's seat. So you're not a victim anymore. It puts you in an empowered place where you can say, What is this challenge? What is this obstacle? What is this suffering trying to teach me about love, about healthy love for myself, filling my mind with healthy love, filling my heart with healthy love, filling my physical body and my energy body with healthy love, and thus filling my relationships and the environments that I walk into and my life overall with healthy love. And, in my experience as someone who for, 2.5 decades has been asking, what is the purpose of life? Why I'm on the planet? The best answer I have is that we come here to learn about love. We come here to learn about healthy love so that we can enjoy being alive. And how can we enjoy being alive? And how can we experience and offer and receive healthy love if we don't know how to have healthy love for ourselves? And I'm sure a lot of you already know that our relationship to ourselves determines how we relate to and treat everybody around us and everything that we experience. And so tonight, I'm going to share with you as much as I can to streamline the health of your relationship to yourself. And so practically, I want to ask you a question before I dive into these habits and keys and laws is, if you think about your life today, so this is a thought experiment. If you think about your life today, so I want you to connect to your personal relationships, your health, your professional life, and I'm going to ask you a few questions. The first one is, looking at your life today, your immediate life within this week, or let's say this month, I'm going to ask you, where is fear, guilt, shame, or self-doubt? So where's fear, guilt, shame, self-doubt stopping you from being 100% honest with someone in your life? So you feel something, you need something, you want something, but you're scared to say it. It could be to your partner, your boss, your friend, your sibling. You feel something, you need something, you want something, you feel something strongly, but you're afraid to articulate it, or you feel guilty about articulating it, or you feel ashamed about articulating it, or you feel self-doubt. You don't trust yourself or trust the situation to express it. So just notice what's true for you when I'm asking this question. The second form of this question, same kind of ideas. Where is that same energy, that same block? So the fear, guilt, shame, self-doubt, where is it stopping you from following your heart or acting in integrity, acting in alignment with what you feel in your body and your heart, with what you need, with what you want? So where is fear, guilt, shame, self-doubt stopping you from following your heart, taking the leap, moving in the direction, acting in integrity, in alignment with your true feelings, your true needs, your true desires, and your true sense of purpose and calling? So just notice for yourself what comes up. And then the third manifestation of this question is, where's that same block, the fear, the guilt, the shame, the self-doubt, stopping you from taking time on a daily basis and a weekly basis for your self-care? So I just want you to connect to your life today, this week, this month. Where is fear, guilt, shame, self-doubt stopping you from taking enough time on a daily and weekly basis for your self-care, to take care of your body, your heart, your mind, your soul, to do the things that fill your cup, that you know are good for your body, good for your mind, good for your health, good for your soul, good for your growth? But it's hard to take that 30 minutes, that 60 minutes, that afternoon, that day off just to give it to yourself because of fear, because of guilt, because of shame, because of self-doubt. And just notice what's true for you, okay? Now, I was just in Sedona, Arizona, teaching at the Sedona Yoga Festival, and I asked a group of people this live so I could hear back everybody's answer to this question. And so what I would normally do, if we could be a little bit more interactive, is ask you, what are the limiting beliefs? And if you want to put this in the chat, you can. What is the limiting belief you see for yourself right now as to why you won't say what you need to say, act in integrity, or take enough time and space for yourself on a daily basis? So if you feel like sharing the limiting belief you're aware of, I can't express myself fully because I can't be totally honest about my feelings or my needs or my preferences because. So if you feel like putting it in the chat, go ahead. And I can't follow my heart. I can't act in integrity and alignment because what's the limiting belief that you believe? If you do, what's going to happen? Again, I can't take enough time today. I can't take 30 minutes an hour. I can't take the afternoon today or this week for my health, for my self-care because, right? Someone shared because it'd be seen as selfish. Thank you, Julie. Donna said, not good enough or scared of failing, right? And so what these questions will bring up face to face is the limiting thinking, the limiting beliefs that are blocking you from valuing yourself, loving yourself, taking care of yourself, giving yourself permission in the present to be in alignment, to be true to yourself, to be loving and good to yourself. Another way we'll talk about this is to treat yourself as worthy, because we have to be able to treat ourselves as worthy. And that's what this is all about. Okay. I feel like I don't deserve it. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. And so what a lot of these beliefs are saying to me when I listen to a room full of people's beliefs is the big overarching belief is I don't trust life. I don't trust the universe. I don't trust my higher power. If you believe in God or some kind of universal intelligence, I don't trust God or I don't trust the universal intelligence fully. Because if we did, we would say what we need to say and trust that everything would be okay. We would follow our heart, we would act in integrity, we would act in alignment, and we would trust that everything would be okay. We would take the 30 minutes, the 60 minutes every day for our self-care to nourish our mind, nourish our heart, nourish our body, nourish our soul, and trust that everything will be okay, right? But most of us just don't trust life. We don't trust the universe. We don't trust our higher power, not fully. And then if you think about it, if I am sitting here and I'm talking to you and I judge you for any reason, it actually has nothing to do with you. So if I judge one of you for the way you're dressed, let's say, or the way you speak, for example, I'm not judging you because there's intrinsically something to be judged about you. I'm judging you because I judge myself. So psychologically, the primary reason we judge other people is to make ourselves feel safe or to make ourselves feel better than we do about something in ourselves that we don't feel good about or that we judge about ourselves. So we often judge because it makes us feel in control. It's a defense mechanism psychologically and energetically to protect ourselves. So basically, the moral of this story is that our relationship to ourselves determines how we perceive and relate to the outer world. So when I say I don't trust life, when you say I don't trust life, I don't trust the universe, I don't trust my higher power, what we're really saying is I don't trust myself. Okay. And then my question to you is, why don't you trust yourself? I'm sure that, Julia, Naomi, Donna, Julie, Aaron, Michelle, Carolina, Daraj, Susie, I'm sure you're all good, decent people. I mean, we all make mistakes. I like to say we're messy, imperfect miracles. All of us, we're all messy. We're all imperfect, and we're all still miracles, even in that messiness, even in that imperfection, right? So why don't you trust yourself? And then if you look back logically, the root of this is that most of us, if we look back to childhood and then all the years and decades up until today, we see that we have not been our own best friend. We have not treated ourselves with love and respect and kindness and grace and acceptance. Most of us have been our own worst enemy. We've been hard on ourselves. We've had all this negative self-talk that no one ever taught us what to do with. We had feelings and needs and desires that no one ever mirrored back to us or taught us that we had. And then we never learned how to articulate them in a healthy way. So we've been abandoning, neglecting, rejecting, betraying ourselves just to survive, to belong, to get love, to get approval, to not be rejected, to not feel alone, right? So if I say, why don't you trust yourself? The logical answer, the practical answer is not that there's anything wrong with you. It's not that you're good enough, not good enough. It's not that you're going to fail. It's not that it's selfish in a bad way. And it's not that you don't deserve it. It's that you've been treating yourself as unworthy since you were little because you never learned anything different. We all learn to be very self-destructive to some degree from childhood moving forward to today. So when I ask you, where is fear, guilt, shame, self-doubt, stopping you today from being honest, from speaking your truth, from living in integrity and alignment fully with your feelings and your needs and your sense of purpose and calling? Or where is that same fear stopping you from taking time and space on a daily basis for your self-care to fill your cup? There's a thread that runs from today, from the present moment. If you pull on the thread, I call it the golden thread. If you pull on this thread, you will see a pattern that goes back to your conception. I mean, and this pattern actually goes back through your bloodline, through your mother, through your father, through their parents, because this is something that I found that is passed down from generation to generation, because this lesson is so hard, but it's also so important, because to me it symbolizes and is a symptom of the evolution of human consciousness and the evolution of our bloodline, the evolution of our genetics, right? Because if we don't learn to love ourselves, we can't love other people in a healthy way. And if we don't love ourselves, we don't realize that we're one with the planet, and we can't take care of the earth, which is not separate from us, that sustains us, right? So biological, genetic, and conscious evolution is all about understanding how to have a healthy, loving relationship to ourselves. Then I can have a healthy, loving relationship to you. Then I realize I'm not separate from the trees or the oceans or from the sky and the stars and the earth that gives me oxygen and food and water and shelter, and my children and my grandchildren and their grandchildren. There's no separation, but I need to get my house in order and have a healthier relationship to myself, so I can then bring that to everyone and every environment that I'm involved with in my life and my time on this planet. Okay. And then, the bigger theme is, I want everybody on the call to hear this. And this is something that has been hard and so important for me to realize, is that our time here, our existence is a miracle. You are a miracle. We are all miracles. This whole experience of being human, being alive, existing, being conscious, being able to have a conversation like this, being able to enjoy your favorite coffee or your favorite food, or have a conversation with someone you love, or spend time with your little pet or your children, whatever it is, this is all a miracle that we take for granted. And you are a miracle that you've likely been taking for granted. And then when you do that, you let other people take you for granted. We let other people mistreat us because we're not cherishing our existence. We're not cherishing the miracle that we are. Okay. And so tonight I want you to have some more clarity around cherishing and honoring and taking care of the miracle that is you, your soul, your being, your mind, your heart, your physical body, your energy body. Okay. And so thankfully, the truth is not that complicated. Life, nature, the universe didn't design this to be so complicated. We've just been so conditioned away from ourselves and so conditioned into this confusion around what really matters, and spent so many years and decades going against ourselves, that it can feel complicated, overwhelming, and daunting to think that we can get back to ourselves. Thankfully, you're right here. Like, wherever you go, there you are. So wherever you are right now, your essence, all your power, the miracle that you are is present. Your connection to the universe, to all of life, to your higher power, it's here. It can never really be severed or broken. That's just a misperception. And what covers it up is all the pain from not knowing how to love ourselves, from not knowing how to treat ourselves as worthy. So how do we heal this? Well, we have to figure out in the present moment. So in this present moment, how do I stop hurting myself? How do I stop letting myself get hurt? And how do I stop hurting other people? So again, I want you to hear this. In the present, the secret is, how do I stop hurting myself? How do I stop letting myself get hurt? And how do I stop hurting other people? And the answer to all these questions is the same, and I'm going to go through them. But I want to highlight the idea of not hurting other people, because this is one that gets bypassed a lot. If we are unconscious in the way we treat other people, meaning we are mean with our words, or mean and cruel and heartless and cold with our behavior, or we're continuously out of integrity. I'm not saying we all make mistakes. We all mess up. The idea is if we do mess up, is to say, I'm sorry, and then to do our best again. So we take accountability, we apologize, and then we do our best again, not to repeat the pattern of messing up. But we all do that. But it's so important to know that if we hurt other people, we're going to suffer. I have watched people do damage to other people and then they get sick. So I just want you to know that we cannot hurt other people unconsciously and avoid suffering and challenges. You're going to get sick if you're unconsciously doing damage. And then obviously we're all here because we all know that if we're unconsciously hurting ourselves, we're going to make ourselves sick. And so I don't want you to keep making yourself sick or sad or putting yourself down or holding yourself back, because that's the only strategy you know. Okay, so now we're going to dive into some of these habits, and I'm going to ramble through them just so we still have a little bit of time for our Q&A. Okay, so at a high level, when we wake up in the morning, literally the thoughts we think and then our habits, so what we say, what we do from the moment we wake up and then start to get out of bed and go through our day, if you break it down to a science, we're either hurting ourselves with our thoughts and our habits, or we're taking care of ourselves. Okay, so this is black and white every day. So when you wake up tomorrow, you are either hurting yourself with your thoughts and your habits from the moment you wake up throughout the day until you go to bed, or you're taking care of yourself and you're loving yourself. Okay, so here's the first one, and I'm going to ask everybody to please write this down. Habit number one. The first one is expressing myself honestly and kindly. So the first one is express myself honestly and kindly. Okay, and the reason why that's important, if you think about it, in every relationship, so from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, in every situation, every relationship, you're either being authentic and genuine and honest and vulnerable and then kind, or you're not, right? So you're either living a lie or you're not. We're trying to be honest, but we're being mean. So being an asshole or a bitch, and excuse me for swearing, but I need to make a point, right? Because a lot of us learned a very self-destructive form of communication, typically from our parents and the environments we were in growing up. So because a lot of us never learned how to say, I feel hurt or I feel angry, which is nonviolent communication and is taking accountability for what's going on inside you, we learn to say things like F you or F off, or you're such a whatever, or you're such a selfish piece of, and you only care about yourself, right? So we're very good at using our language to hurt people, to push people away, because we think that's how we're going to be heard and that's how we're going to protect ourselves. But it never works. And we end up alone because we end up pushing away the people who actually love and care about us, because unconsciously we never learned how to love ourselves. We never learned how to be honest and kind. So the first part is being honest. And the key to that is nonviolent communication. For any of you who have not heard that before, the statements are, I feel, and so you want to write these down. I feel, I need, I want. So write down, I feel, I need, I want. And I know some of you already registered for the recording of this, so you'll be able to go back. And I think if you haven't registered for the recording of this, I think Mind Body Spirit Festival will let you register for the recording of this. I think it's a few pounds to be able to go through all of this again if you don't get the notes. But you want to say, I feel, I need, I want, and a couple other good ones are, it's important to me that, my boundary is. So instead of saying F you, you're such a whatever, calling people names, which is code for I feel hurt and angry, you could just say, I feel hurt, I feel angry, I feel scared, I'm scared to lose you. It's very hard for me to express myself because I'm scared to lose you. You know, this has been one of my biggest lessons and biggest blocks, and sometimes I don't get it right. And I've had to work on this because from a young age, I was so scared to express my feelings. I was so scared to express my needs. And I know that a lot of you on the call struggle with the same thing. And then the second part is when we call people names, or we swear at them, or we put them down, or we attack them or criticize them, or we react in a way where we kind of lose our shit and we're out of control, the karma of that, the result of that is that we feel ashamed of ourselves and we feel guilty about ourselves. You cannot behave in a way where you put people down and call them names and are mean and reactive and also respect yourself. So I want you to be able to leave every interaction with every person and respect yourself. And the secret is to be as honest and authentic and genuine and vulnerable as possible using I feel, I need, I want statements. It's important to me that, and not swearing at them, not calling them names. And then, so for example, one thing that comes up is you'll go home, you'll go tomorrow and you'll do this with someone and you'll say, I feel hurt, or I need quality time, or I need space. And then they'll get triggered and they'll react in front of you and call you selfish or put you down. Then the next step is not to then lose your shit and react and forget this teaching, forget this habit, this secret, this lesson. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is the real yoga. This is the real meditation. This is healing in action when it's really tested, is when someone swears at you or someone reacts in front of you, that you take a deep breath and you continue to practice this same habit, which is you say, I feel hurt. I feel unsafe. I need to remove myself from the room because I don't feel like I can talk to you like this. And I don't want to start screaming. I don't want to use profanity. We both need to cool down. I'm going to remove myself from the room. Okay. And so you're going to get tested as you work on practicing this. And the secret is to know that you're going to get tested and not to give your power and not to give your dignity away to the people who are either trying to hook you or who are very good at hooking you or who have hooked you in the past into a reaction. Again, so this is all in the name of self-respect, valuing yourself, and operating in a way so that at night, at the end of the day, you can look in the mirror and you can respect who you've been and how you've been that day. And you're going to be tested all the time. I mean, I'm tested all the time and I'm pretty good at this, but I make mistakes, I get triggered, and I'm tested every day. And it's like the tests sometimes get bigger just to see how much you can handle, your capacity for love, your capacity for grace, your capacity for peace in situations that are challenging. Okay. So we're going to move on to the second habit. The second habit is to act in alignment, act in integrity with your true feelings, your true needs, and your sense of calling. So think about how often you feel something in a day, you need something, or you want something, or you feel called to something, but you do the opposite, right? Most of us do this on a daily basis. We're very fragmented. We feel something, we need something, we want something, we feel called to something, but we do the opposite because we do what we think we should do, or we do something out of fear and survival because we think we won't be okay if we do otherwise. And, I often joke, some people believe that they chose their parents before they were born. Some people think there's no effing way I would have chosen my parents before I was born. And some people think I have no idea if I chose them or I didn't choose them. But the moral of this story is that in childhood, a lot of people, regardless of what you believe, felt they were forced to be in situations that they didn't want to be in, with people that they didn't want to be with, doing things that they didn't want to do. So imagine you're born into a family and you don't feel good in your family and you're forced to be with them in that house and forced to put up with the unconsciousness and the abuse and the mistreatment and doing what they want to do. And then you're forced to go to school and then you have to be with people maybe you don't like, or people who are mean to you, or people who don't understand you, right? And then a lot of us end up going into later years of school and then maybe even university or our first jobs. And we feel like we can't be in places we want to be, with people we want to be with, doing what we want to do. We always have to be in a place I don't want to be, doing something I don't want to do, with people I don't really like or want to be with. And then we call that normal. And when someone tries to break out of this, we think they're crazy or they're weird. But really, they're just trying to figure out who they really are and live in alignment with their true self. So again, the second habit is the cliche of follow your heart, act in integrity, act in alignment with what do I feel today? What do I need? What do I want? What is my sense of purpose telling me? And try every day more and more to move in integrity, move in alignment, move in the flow with that feeling, with that truth inside you. And I know a lot of people today are familiar with the concept of being in the flow or a flow state. How can you ever feel like you're in the flow or in a flow state if you feel something, need something, want something, but you don't express it and you don't act in integrity? You don't act in alignment with it. You can't be in the flow. You can't find that flow state, okay? So this becomes a practice, just like meditation every day, just like yoga every day, just like writing in your journal or your diary. Expressing yourself honestly and kindly is a practice. Acting in alignment, acting in integrity, following your heart is a practice every day. Now, the third habit is taking time and space on a daily basis, a weekly basis for self-care. Okay. So the third habit is take time and space on a daily basis for self-care. And so the way I like to frame this is if let's say I'm your best friend and I say to you, am I a bad person? Am I a bad person for wanting to take 30 minutes to an hour for self-care on a daily basis? Like, am I an evil man? Am I a bad partner? Am I a bad father? Am I a bad son? Am I a bad employee or a bad boss? You know, am I a bad person, a bad sibling, whatever it is you identify with? Am I a bad person because I need 30 minutes or 60 minutes to myself every day to do what? To just be with my thoughts and feelings, to move at my own pace, my own rhythm, to figure out whatever medicine I need on that day. So when I say medicine, that could be taking a walk. It could be going to Pilates. It could be going to the gym. It could be listening to your favorite music. It could be doing some art that you enjoy doing. It could be catching up with your best friend. It could be reading a new book or your favorite book, right? So the medicine can change every day, but we all need 30 to 60 minutes every day at least to feel well, to feel healthy. And I know a lot of people here will say, I need a lot more than that. And that's normal too, and that's okay. But for some people on here, just taking 30 or 60 minutes is very hard. And it's hard to give ourselves permission to take that much time for ourselves. But again, as your friend, I can't be well if I don't have 30 to 60 minutes at least a day for myself and my self-care. So as your friend, you cannot heal. You cannot be happy. You cannot be well if you don't have at least 30 to 60 minutes every day for yourself, for your self-care, something that really fills your cup. And typically we need more than that. But for those of us who are really struggling with this, 30 to 60 minutes can be very challenging to find the time, create the time, and then give ourselves permission to just focus on ourselves. Because like Julie said, we're worried everybody's going to think we're selfish, you know? And the truth is we're all selfish. It's just some of us are toxic in our selfishness, and some of us have healthy self-care, which is a healthy form of selfishness, which is what we all need to master, and stop pretending that we're selfless saints, because we're not. We can get into that in the Q&A. Okay. So the fourth habit I want to outline for everybody is taking care of your mind. Okay. So the fourth habit is taking care of your mind. So when you wake up in the morning, the thoughts you think first thing in the morning are creating and shaping your day and creating and shaping your reality. And this is true for all of us. As soon as you start to come out of sleep, you start to think, and that's the energy that you're putting out into the day, into life, into the universe. It's like a domino effect. You wake up, you start to think, and the dominoes are off and they're falling. And then the other thing that's happening when you wake up and you start to think is you're activating specific parts of your brain. So if you wake up and you think, God, I hate my life. I don't want to go to work. Everything sucks. Everyone sucks. I hate my life. You're activating the part of your brain that is associated with that, which means you're getting that part of your brain and those neural networks to fire and be in the driver's seat for the day. The other thing that type of thinking does is it causes stress, which means it causes cortisol to pump through your veins more than is necessary. So basically, from the moment we wake up, our thoughts are either making us sick or making us well. Okay, so this is black and white. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, your thoughts are either making you sick even before you get out of bed, or they're making you well. And so the prescription, one of the keys here, is to practice meditation, especially if you've never done this, to practice meditation first thing in the morning when you wake up. And when I say first thing, that means you wake up, and if you have to use the restroom, go to the restroom. If you need a little water or to blow your nose, that's fine. But I would say don't use your phone. Don't text. Don't email. Don't turn it on. Don't shower. Don't have coffee. 10 minutes training your mind focusing on your breathing, focusing on your body, like we did in our meditation. And I think Mind, Body, Spirit will send out an email when we get done with this, and I'll make sure we include a link to a meditation you can do every morning, which basically helps you train your mind first thing in the morning. And then at the end of the meditation, you then actually can choose your thoughts. And this is a superpower that we all have that no one ever teaches us we have, which is that you can actually choose thoughts that are healthy for you, like affirmations, but you can choose them in the morning to intentionally and consciously activate specific parts of the brain that release dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin instead of stress molecules like cortisol that are making you sick before you get out of bed. Okay. So meditation is one of the keys in the morning to taking care of your mind and to this fourth habit. Okay. Another big part of this fourth habit that I like to highlight is limiting your time with negative people. We all have people in our lives that can be like an energy vampire or can bring us down, and sometimes they're family members. And so I like to bring this up just to make us conscious of it, which is, you don't have to respond to every text. You don't have, and not right away. And you don't have to pick up every phone call. You don't have to call someone multiple times a day if they're toxic for you. And so I encourage you to start looking at when you connect with friends and family, is someone always bringing you down energetically? Do you always feel down and off when you get off the phone, or you get, you leave them at a coffee shop or from a restaurant, or getting together with them? Because this is a really big one in terms of taking care of and protecting your mind. We take it for granted. Okay. The only thing I'm going to enter in here is there's a gentleman named Simon Sinek that I'm sure some of you are familiar with. He gave a TED Talk that's one of the most viewed TED Talks of all time. And he has something that I love, which is this idea that we only need 8 minutes to not feel alone. So if you have a friend or a family member that's struggling and you feel guilty not being there for them, but they maybe are not good for your mental health, one way to think about it is that that scientifically, if you can just give them 8 minutes of your time, they will not feel so alone in the world. And maybe that's the one thing that'll, help save their day or make their day better. And it's also going to make you not feel bad that you haven't shown up for someone. Okay. So when you're in those moments with a friend or a family member and you feel like you really don't have a lot to give, but you just can't ignore them, just remember this. Thanks, JJ. Just remember this: 8 minutes, just 8 minutes can make someone feel unalone. And just say, I could only talk for this 8 to 10 minutes. I got to go. I got other things I have to do. I love you. I'm here for you. I'll talk to you soon. And then you don't feel as guilty. You gave them the 8 minutes. You listen to them for 8 minutes so they don't feel so alone. And that's a good way of protecting your mind. Okay. And I'm going to move on to the fifth habit. Okay. So we're moving on to the fifth habit. The fifth habit is to value your time and your energy. Please, that's the header, please. Value your time and your energy, because that's all we got. So for example, we're sitting here tonight, and I would never waste your time, and I won't waste my time, because this is all we have. That's why I take this so seriously. That's why I'm trying to give you so much information right now, because I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste my time, because this is all I have. This is all we have, is this moment, the time and the energy that we have in a given day. But again, we're also used to giving time and energy to people who don't appreciate us, to kind of wasting time and energy, using it in ways that are not healthy for us. And so we need to bring an awareness to this destructive pattern and start to use it as a practice that, today I'm going to value myself. I'm going to value my time and my energy, and I'm not going to waste it. Okay. And so a couple things I want to add into this. One of the ways of valuing your time and your energy is to say, no, thank you. So when you don't want to do something or be involved in something, sometimes a friend will ask you to go shopping or to get a drink or go to the bar, go to the pub, or go to something. And maybe sometimes you want to go. But when you don't want to go, or you have other priorities, or your self-care is more important, or you need to get some sleep, all you have to say is no, thank you. So if you can, write down that affirmation, write down that phrase, no, thank you. Okay. And then there's two other things that I want to say on valuing your time and your energy. One is, when you're struggling, when you're suffering, when you're struggling or stuck in something, it's very normal, and this was something I've had to overcome in my life, to be proud or ashamed and not know where to go for help. So the lesson here is that asking for help when you're struggling is a way of valuing your time and your energy, because often we're stuck in something and then we're ashamed of it, or we're proud and our ego's involved and we don't want anybody to know. And then we don't ask for help and we don't reach out for help. And that help, that 8 minutes from a friend, that 8 minutes from a therapist could actually save our life and help us move through the block. But because of shame or pride or guilt or fear, we stop ourselves from asking for help. And then we stay stuck in the issue and the situation for longer than we need to. So if you're struggling, ask for help, ask a friend, ask a family member, find a therapist, find a coach, find a healer. There's great online resources today for online therapy and coaching that's affordable. Go ask for help. I don't know what resources in the UK you have, if the government offers, good hotlines or good resources, but ask for help when you're struggling, because otherwise you're not valuing your time, your energy, and the miracle that you are, the miracle of your life. Ask for help, okay? The last part of this valuing your time and your energy I want to highlight is we often let into our lives people that are not good for us, right? So let's say you're dating someone and there are red flags and they're not healthy for you. Valuing your time and your energy means not giving this person more time and more energy, because the people you let into your mind, your head space, your heart space, your body, your energy, and your soul space can do a lot of damage if they're unconscious, if they won't take responsibility, if they have trauma they haven't healed and they're not willing to look at it. So again, valuing your time and your energy means being very mindful about who you let in to your heart and your mind space and your life, because some people will do a lot of damage. And this doesn't mean they're bad people. I'm not trying to say these people are necessarily bad, although some of them are very, unconscious. They could just be suffering, and it's just where they're at in their growth. So valuing your time and your energy means being very aware and protecting your heart, your mind, your life, who you let in as a friend, as a partner, a coworker. Okay, and you can have your heart open and be vulnerable and still be very aware and very careful about who you let into your mental space, your heart space, and your physical space, both your body as a partner or in your living space into your life. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 6, and this is the one everybody knows the most about, is taking care of your body. Okay, so from the moment we wake up every day to the moment we go to bed, we're either taking care of our body or we're not. And that has to do with everything you put in your body. So food, supplements, liquids, alcohol, drugs, pills, prescriptions, whatever it is, anything you put in your body. It has to do with everything you put on your body, which means lotions, makeup, skincare, shampoo and conditioner, hair products, anything you perfume, cologne, anything you put on your body, in your body, and then also your environment. So the things you clean your home with, like your kitchen, your detergents for your laundry. So I encourage everybody to do a thorough check. And there are a lot of great websites. You just Google or ChatGPT, what are the best websites to check my body care products? What are the best websites to check my home cleaning products for toxins, neurotoxins, things that are carcinogenic, that can make you sick, that can give you cancer? So if you value yourself and you love yourself fully, you'll do a full inventory of everything you put in your body, on your body, and the things you clean your home and your clothes with, so you're not making yourself sick with the laundry detergent or the dish detergent or what you clean your surfaces with, for example, okay? We all know that we want to eat whole foods, not the brand, but vegetables, fruit, if you eat meat, unprocessed foods, right? We all know all of this already. But the thing I want you to know that's the most important thing to hear here is that when you don't do 1 through 5, habits 1 through 5, you're basically saying to yourself and to your soul and to your heart that you don't matter. When you don't express yourself honestly and kindly, when you don't act in integrity and alignment, when you don't take time and space for yourself on a daily and weekly basis for self-care, when you don't take care of your mind every day, when you don't value your time and your energy every day, you're saying to yourself, I don't matter. And you're also treating the people around you, you're telling the people around you that you don't matter. And then they'll take you for granted. They won't appreciate you because you're taking yourself and the miracle of your life for granted, okay? And what happens is when you are telling yourself on a daily basis that you don't matter, your feelings don't matter, your needs don't matter, your self-care doesn't matter, your purpose doesn't matter, the sentiment that grows inside the body that I've seen a lot of people suffer with is, what is the point of eating healthy or exercising or getting good sleep, like sticking to the regimen or not drinking more alcohol? What's the point of taking good care of myself if I don't actually like being alive? I don't like being on the planet. I don't like my relationships, or I don't like my work, or I don't feel good about myself. And the only thing that brings me joy or pleasure is the alcohol or the sugar or the fast food. So all the short-term gratification is a symptom of feeling you don't matter deep down, because you don't know how to tell yourself that you matter, which means you don't know how to treat yourself as though you matter from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. But now you have the habits. You know exactly how to treat yourself as worthy and as though you matter from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. This is 1 through 6 that you've written down so far. This is exactly how you love yourself, exactly how you value yourself from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. So you stop hurting yourself, stop letting yourself get hurt, and stop hurting other people. So again, when we don't do 1 through 5, the sentiment is, I actually don't like being here. I don't like being alive. So a heart, a soul that feels it doesn't matter, that it doesn't feel cared for, becomes a physical body that feels, what's the point of prolonging my physical existence? What's the point of prolonging my time on the planet if I don't really like this ride? I'm not enjoying it. But if you want to enjoy it and thus take better care of yourself and heal, you have to do 1 through 5, 1 through 6 every day and make it a practice, just like journaling, just like brushing your teeth, just like meditation, just like yoga, just like the gym. It has to be a practice. And the last one, which makes a lot of sense, the last habit, number 7, is to give and to serve and to help. Because the point of 1 through 6 is not only to be well and fill your cup just for yourself, but it's to give and to help other people, because our soul, our essence is pure love. I think one of the words that most accurately describes our essence and the soul of a human being is pure love, our true nature. And that's why we can't help but give, and we want to give, and we want to be there for other people. But we've never learned how to take care of ourselves practically on a daily basis. And so our cup ends up empty. We end up burnt out, resentful, manipulative. But if you're doing 1 through 6, you're filling your cup every day, every week, which means you can give and give from a pure, unconditional, genuine place, help people, do good, show up, be there for the people you care about, love them. But you also are not forgetting and abandoning yourself in the process. You're not hurting yourself every day anymore. You're not letting yourself get hurt and mistreated every day. And then you're not taking out your pain on other people and hurting them. And when you do that, you become like an apple tree. You selfishly take from the earth and from the atmosphere what you need, and you grow into this beautiful, abundant, radiant apple tree that has so much to give and to share. But that's because you now know from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed how to treat yourself as worthy, how to love yourself, how to take good care of yourself. And that's how you learn to trust yourself again. So those 7 habits you just wrote down is how you learn to feel worthy, because you're treating yourself as worthy every day, which you never learned. And you learn to trust yourself again. And what happens is the self-love, the treating yourself as worthy every day with these habits, it eats the unworthiness. It eats the shame. It eats the guilt. It eats the self-doubt, just day by day. There's no magic pill. But every day you become your own best friend. Every day you value yourself. You're going to trust yourself a little bit more. So if you want to trust yourself, you want to have a breakthrough, focus on these 7 habits that we just went over. And I promise you, they will part the sea. They will move the mountain. But you just have to get up every day and practice them. And even when you feel doubt, even when things blow up in front of you, keep coming back to this practice. And I promise you, it will work. Like 100%, I promise you, but you're going to have to keep at it every day. Just like if you want to get biceps or get your butt tight, you know, you all know if you want to remodel your house, nothing happens overnight. It's day by day, consistent effort, right? There's no quick pill, no mushroom, no ayahuasca, no plant medicine, you know, no healer, no guru can do this for you, because we all need to know from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed, how to have an optimal, loving, kind, respectful relationship to ourselves, where we stop hurting ourselves, we stop letting ourselves get hurt, and then we stop taking it out on everybody around us. And so the last thing I'm going to leave you with before we take a few questions is this. This whole thing can be summarized as, if you valued yourself 100% today, okay, so take this in, please. If you valued yourself 100% today, in every situation and relationship, if you valued yourself 100% today, in every situation and relationship, what would you say? What would you do? How would you do it? How would you carry yourself? How would you approach the situation? And the secret is to do that, okay? And if you feel blocked in doing that, the path to valuing yourself 100% every day in every situation and relationship is the 7 habits that you just wrote down. If you want to go deeper into them, I'm going to be in London in May with the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival. I'll be over there with alternatives teaching. I'll be over there with the College of Psychic Studies. Come hang out with me. Come to the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival, or, you know, come hang out with me online again. And I'm sorry I couldn't see your face and interact more with you, but I know Rosalind's going to jump on here and she's going to help us take a few questions until they kick me off. So, Rosalind, you there?
Hello.
Hi, thank you for coming back.
Thank you so much for that. I was glued to the screen. That was amazing. Please drop a comment, guys, how you found that, because that totally made my week, and it's only Tuesday.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I made so many notes on my script for you that I'm going to be referring back to. Thank you so much. Was it good for you?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking to myself here the whole time because all I see, yeah, so that's challenging, but I hope it got through. Thanks, JJ.
Thanks, JJ. Okay, well, it's question time, guys. So if anything came up in your note taking, if you want to take a few seconds and just read back over your notes and see what questions come up and arise. If you need a little shake because you've been sitting for a few minutes, then go ahead. We can't see you. Go ahead. Anne says, thank you so very much for your free online seminar. Brilliant. Thank you. Donna says that was so good and really helpful. Thank you. Thank you, Blake. Thanks, Susie. Don't go anywhere, guys, because Blake is here to answer your questions. This is your time to really get stuck into what you really need when you exit this call back into your life. If you're going about your day or going straight to bed, what do you really, really need to know? I've got one question I'll start us off with, but just have a few seconds of thinking. JJ says, I really appreciate that. Yes, it's hard talking to a screen for 2 hours. Very grateful. Blake, it wasn't even like you were talking to a screen. We were totally with you. So kudos.
And thank you, everybody. I'm so happy that this was helpful. Like I said, if you're in London or the UK, come hang out with me. I'll be in London at the second half of May for a couple weeks doing a bunch of stuff, and I'll be at the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival all weekend. So does anybody have any specific questions? Because we have about 15 minutes. I'm happy to answer any questions that I can during this time until Rosalind kicks me off.
I would stay here all night if I could. I really could. I'm just reading through these last comments. Just as people have a little, we've got one coming in, but just before I read that out, yes, the 23rd and 24th of May, Blake will be in London with us. Please come. Okay, Matthew Landis says, your book literally changed the course of his life. He overcame a 25-year battle with addiction, homelessness. He's now 5 years sober. Congrats, Matthew. Question today is, how does your personal faith in your God of choice play a role in your daily life? What a question. Do you want to go ahead, Blake?
Yeah, absolutely. Matthew, nice to see you here. And thank you for being with us, and nice to know you're here. So, you know, my relationship to the universe and a higher power began when I was at my rock bottom after, a number of years of drug addiction and then sabotaging everything that I cared about and everything that I loved, and then also everything that I identified with. And so when I was 18 is actually when my relationship to the universe and a higher power began. And it's only strengthened over the decades. And so today and now, I would say, my relationship to the universe and to a higher power is, I would say 9.9 out of 10. There's those moments where, maybe a little bit of doubt creeps in, but it has a front seat role to the point where I trust that guidance. I trust that protection. I trust that wisdom and that support wholeheartedly. And that was kind of some of the message that I wanted to share with everybody here, is that when you treat yourself in the ways that I outlined today, and then this is all from personal experience. I didn't read this in a book. Even with all my education and training, I never found this anywhere, which is why I'm so committed to sharing this with as many people as I can. And this is how I learned to trust myself. I didn't trust myself. I didn't love myself. I didn't have a connection to a higher power, to the universe, and to all of life. But over 2 decades of doing this on a daily basis. So just so you all know, none of this for me was ever a hobby or out of vanity. For me, it was heal or die. And Matthew, I know from our conversations that it was the same for you. And so not only did this thinking and these practices save my life, they also helped me create a life. I now get to travel the world helping people in this capacity. And people all thought, Blake, you're crazy. You'll never make a living. You'll never be supported. You can't do this. You're crazy. Nobody thinks the way you think. No one's going to believe you. I had so many limiting beliefs and limitations projected onto me over the years, but I knew in my heart the pain and the suffering that I went through. I knew what helped me, and I believed wholeheartedly in my heart that if I was devoted to sharing this with people who really, that saying, like, really have the ears to hear and the eyes to see, people who are truly suffering and want freedom from their suffering, that they'll hear the wisdom. You'll feel the vibration, right? You'll feel the energy of what I'm saying, and it will help. And so, Matthew, it really drives all of my life and all of my work, and it has for a long time, and it will continue to do so. So thank you.
Thanks, Blake. I think Matthew might have lost you just a minute or two before you finished there. Matthew, can you just check that you're back with us so I can get Blake to repeat the last bit of what he just said?
I don't know if I can. We might have to let that happen on the recording.
Fair. Yeah.
Take another question?
Of course. Yes. We have a question about the 6th habit. Can you just repeat that?
Yeah. So the 6th habit is taking care of your body. So that's everything you put in your body, put on your body, and the environments you're in. So I talked about food and water and alcohol, and I talked about the stuff you put on your body. So body care products, so lotions and makeup and hair care and perfumes and colognes. And then also a lot of people use detergents to clean their clothes and to clean their dishes and their surfaces at home that are very toxic and carcinogenic. So I would go through and do an inventory of everything you clean your home with, everything you put on your body and clean your body with, and everything you put in your body. And you want to optimize it for, less carcinogens, non-toxic, no pesticide, least amount of pesticides, parabens. There's all these chemicals that are making us sick. So you could be doing all these things right, like meditation, yoga, journaling, nonviolent communication, and you could be cleaning something in your house that's making you anxious. And you could think, why am I so anxious? And it could be the soap you're using, or the detergent on your clothes, or the perfume that you're putting on your skin that's going into your lymph every day can be making you sick or making you anxious, and you can't figure out why. Okay, so that's number 6.
Yeah, that was a really great recap. We have a question Julie had just before. Is there ever a support group to reinforce your ideas? She'd love this refresher. She'd love to meet with like-minded people. I would say that My Body Spirit might be that kind of area to meet like-minded people, make friends, come solo, come partnered, come with friends. But is there a specific support group, WhatsApp group, Facebook group, etc.?
No, not really. So I would say, Julie, and for anybody else, join my email list and just come I do a lot of free online events, and then come to the free ones, come in person. I take private clients, so anybody is welcome to reach out if they want to work one-on-one. I have tried getting Facebook groups going. I personally don't have the time to moderate them. And so what happens is they kind of fizzle out, unfortunately. So
yeah, that's a great answer. Reach out to Blake directly and join the email list for sure. I'm not sure how to say this. Babrashi, sorry if I butchered that. Can you just recap the second and fifth habit for us, please?
yeah, I can't do the whole thing again. You'll have to get the recording. So the second one is to act in alignment, act in integrity with what you feel, need, want, and your calling. So again, think about it. From the moment I wake up every day, I'm either in integrity and alignment with my true feelings, my true needs, my true desires, my true calling, or I'm betraying myself and I'm going against my feelings. I'm going against my needs. I'm going against my calling. So it's black and white every day. And obviously we're not going to be perfect every day, but we want to know the ideal every day so we can work towards it. We all fall off the horse. I fall off the horse. But the key is to have clarity about what is the horse and how do I get back on it so I can practice this every day. Okay. The fifth one is valuing your time and your energy. So we only have so much time and your energy, and often we're giving it to people and situations that are not healthy for us, where we feel mistreated or unappreciated or taken for granted. So often we pour into people and pour into situations that don't pour into us at all, and then maybe make us feel bad when we try and self-care, right? So you want to value your time and your energy. And a couple practical things I said on that are, you can say no thank you when you're invited to something and you don't want to go. Just say no thank you. The second thing I said is ask for help when you're suffering. Don't let your shame and your ego and your pride stop you from asking for help. Ask for help, even if you're scared, even if you're ashamed, even if you have pride. And then the third part was, I said, be very mindful about who you let into your life, because whoever you let into your mental space, your heart space, your physical space can do a lot of damage if they're suffering and they're not taking responsibility for their suffering. So you have every right to protect your mind, to protect your heart, to protect your mental health and your physical health. And so that was the last part of the fifth prompt. Yeah.
Thank you. I love this rapid fire. You're doing great. Okay, JJ's question is up next. Feels like he does a lot of these habits. It's great to hear, JJ, but I still don't feel like I love myself to love life itself. He serves others. He takes care of his body and mind mostly, but their existence doesn't feel worthwhile. What would you say to that?
Doing a lot is not doing all. So I would say we have to work on doing all of them every day, every week as a practice. So that's one. This is not like one is not important. They're all important. Number two is this can be a pattern that was baked into you at conception. So you could have inherited this feeling from your mother and your father, or one of them, and it could be passed down from generation to generation. So it could be that deep. So that means in the morning, for example, you might want to say to yourself, you might say, JJ, you are worthy of existing. I have a right to exist. JJ, you are a miracle. I am a miracle. And then connect with the little JJ and say, little JJ, you're a miracle. I'm a miracle. I'm going to make the most of today. I'm going to make the most of my life. And so this for you has to be a practice from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, to say to JJ and little JJ, I have a right to be here. I have a right to my feelings and my needs. They matter. This is a miracle. I have to do the things today that make me feel alive and well, so I enjoy my life and align my actions and my work around that. And so you're reconditioning. You have to give yourself the love you didn't get. Give yourself the messaging, the conditioning you didn't get, to override the old conditioning that was either in your DNA, your genetics, in your environment that you inherited around you. JJ, does that resonate? Yeah, I understand. Me too. So again, habits is the how. And then specifically what I just said for you in the morning. And then my book, thank you, Matthew, You Were Not Born to Suffer. I suggest getting the book and getting a diary and doing all the practices. So I designed the book so that if we couldn't spend time together, or someone couldn't afford therapy or healing, that they could get a PDF or a Kindle or the audio and go through the book and experience a very deep level of healing. So if you write out your answers to every question in the book, you will have a catharsis and let go of all this damage that's built up from over the years of not knowing how to love yourself or feeling worthy of love. And again, I'm telling you from my own experience, because I had to overcome those same blocks, those same feelings. So I get it.
All right, we've got a few minutes. We started a little late, so if everyone's happy to go a few minutes over 9 p.m. local time, that's fine with me. Matthew said the book is absolutely life-changing. I would agree.
Thank you, Matthew.
Okay, staying in the kind of past selves, we have a question here from, where is he? Afua. They ask, what is the best way to deal with shame from the past? I really feel this one, Afua.
So again, this is the technical explanation of self-healing. So every time you practice the 7 habits, and this is what's important to understand, you are treating yourself as worthy. So you feel ashamed of something, but then you talk about it with, let's say, a professional or a friend. You say, I'm ashamed that I feel. Or you're in a relationship and you feel shame and you talk about it. Even though you're scared, your hands are shaking, whatever it is, you can write about it and journal it. So there's a lot of ways to articulate the shame, speak to the shame, ask for help around the shame. But what all of the 7 habits do directly and indirectly is, like I said, it's like Pac-Man. When you express yourself in all your relationships honestly and kindly, the self-love, the love that is your soul, the light that is your soul gets stronger. And that light and that love starts to eat the shame over time. So you're literally, and I mean this literally, this is how self-healing works. Your love and your light gets stronger and it washes out, it eats, like Pac-Man, it eats the shame, it eats the pain, it eats the fear, it eats the guilt, it eats the self-doubt. But that's every single time you practice these habits. And I mean it, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, because we spend all this time and money chasing these workshops and these retreats and these plant medicines. And then guess where you end up back? You end up back with yourself. And then I still need to know, when I wake up every day, how do I take care of myself with my thoughts and my habits? And how do I stop hurting myself with my thoughts and my habits? Well, guess what? You now have all the answers. And we can go deeper into each habit, but you have it now. And you can research, how do I do this? How can I take care of my mind? How can I express myself honestly and kindly more? You can talk to ChatGPT. You can Google it. You can research it yourself. You can come spend more time with me. But this is the secret. That self-love, treating yourself as though you matter with the habits, eats and dissolves the shame over time. It overpowers the shame through the practice on a daily basis. And that's the secret. And that's why nothing else has taken it away. So you become friends with your shame. You talk about your feelings and your needs, and you follow your heart, even though you're ashamed. You take time and space for yourself, even though there's shame. You take care of your mind, even though there's shame. You take care of your body, even though there's shame. You value your time and your energy, and you say no, even though there's shame. And over time, it will dissolve the shame. Just like you're rubbing a spot to get out a stain, this is what gets it out. This is what dissolves it, okay?
Love that. Yeah, I really feel that with the shame. Susie says she wrote all the shame down she was feeling onto pages from her journal, put it around a rock, threw it in the sea. I haven't heard of that as a release ritual, but I'm into it.
I love that.
Nice, Susie. Which sea? Where are you based? Afua says, okay, thank you. I have a question while other people are thinking of more questions, as we have the time in hand, about 5 minutes to go. What kind of practical, just to solidify all these habits, what kind of practical transformation have you seen in your clients or people that you've met that have come to see you talk? What practical changes happened in their lives over a few months or a few years when they've started living these habits every day?
Well, there's so many, and they're so wide ranging, because this is the path to healing disease in the body. So things like cancer and autoimmune disease, which I've witnessed people overcome and heal. This has led a lot of people to leave a relationship or get a divorce. And then it has helped a lot of people find true love because they're living in alignment with their true self. I've helped a lot of people come off of prescription medicine, for example. So like come off of antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication and learn to trust themselves again and not need to go to the pill to feel regulated and to trust themselves. You know, and you know, some people want that. Some people don't want that. Everything is okay. You know, that's a very personal process. And yeah, it's hard, you know, it's hard to kind of sum it all up because this is happening all the time. You know, it's really unlocking miracles. And I hope that this resonated, you know, with people as I was speaking, is this idea we are unconscious often of the fact that this whole thing is a miracle. Like your life right now, the whole thing, even us being able to talk on this StreamYard and do a webinar, like this is actually a miracle too, that we can have this conversation over the ethers, right, on the internet. And yeah, I mean, they're endless, Rosalind. I mean, just endless. I get emailed, you know, like daily, weekly with things coming in about things that are happening for people.
That's amazing to hear. And so you should. I'm so glad people are reaching out. Matthew attests to that question, just believing as well as doing. Filling in the spaces. Yeah, so right, so true. Does anyone have any questions about Blake's sessions at the festival? Anything about the practical in-person talks, or for him otherwise, before we just wrap up?
I think the only other thing too, Rosalind, are we going to send a follow-up email with a couple resources to people?
Yeah, we absolutely can.
Okay, I'd love that. And we'll include in there a meditation that I suggest everybody does in the morning, first thing when you wake up. It's about 15 minutes and it will shift everything if you do it. And then the morning is number one. So that should become the baseline practice. But it's also great, for example, if you have something happen during the day or in the evening and you feel anxious and you feel dysregulated, it's something that you can use to help you get back to your center and feel regulated again. So I want to make sure everybody has that free resource.
Thank you. That would be valuable. Really will be. JJ asks, what are you doing whilst you're in London or just the festival? So you're doing some work, or you're doing some work with the festival and a few others. Are you going to be doing anything else?
Yep, I'll be at the festival for the whole festival and I'll be around. And then I'm doing a workshop at the College of Psychic Studies. So you can look that up if you like. And then I'm doing a workshop with alternatives, and that's all on my website. And I think we'll share my website, obviously, in this follow-up email. And then I think I might have, I think I'm there for 2 weeks. I think like 7 days I'm working, and then 7 days I get to myself. So I'll just be enjoying London and all the things that I love in London. I might go to Watkins, if you know the Watkins bookstore. Watkins is my publisher. I might go do some book signings over there. So you can come hang out at the bookstore. And we'll see. Oh, beautiful, Susie. I'll see you there.
What's your email? What's your website, Blake?
It's unconditional-selflove.com. So go on there and then put in your email address, and then I'll put you on my email list. So unconditional-selflove.com.
Great. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for your questions. Just before I wrap up, we've got Blake's website, all of his resources, his events. Definitely reach out and go see him in person. We've got mindbodyspiritfestival.co.uk that you can come see him at 3 times across the weekend. It's on for 4 days. He's on the 2 actual weekend days, the Saturday and Sunday. We can't wait to have him back on the MBF stage. And I just need to tell you that the tickets go up in price by £2 next Friday. So if you want to make that £2 saving, then a £20 day out in London is insane value. So make it happen.
It's so fun. Come hang out. I love coming to the festival. I actually haven't been in about 7 years, and I used to go every year. And Rosalind gets all the credit for me coming to London for this whole trip, because she reached out to me and asked if I'd like to come, and she set in motion this whole visit. So Rosalind, thank you for inspiring me to come over, and you were the catalyst for me getting to connect with all these people that we're going to get to connect with. So thank you so much.
Wow, no, thank you as well. I'm so happy to hear that. Imagine the healing that can happen now that we're setting it into motion. That gives me goosebumps. Anne says, many thanks. Have a fabulous time in London, Blake. Yes, we're all going to have a fabulous time. If you're in the US and you've always wanted to visit London as well, maybe this is your sign to come over and join us. Thank you, everyone. Any last words, Blake?
Thank you, Rosalind. I guess, you know, like the thoughts I'd like to leave you with are, if it doesn't matter to you, it's going to be hard for it to matter to anybody else. So you have to matter to you, which means you have to value yourself from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. And now you know how, actually how. So I promise you, if you focus on these 7 habits, it will shift everything. And don't even take my word for it. Go like a science experiment. Go test them out. See what happens. You know, some stuff will come up, because if people are used to you not valuing yourself, they might react when you start to value yourself. But just come back to the habits and remember to just stay honest and kind. You want to respect yourself. You want to keep your power, keep your dignity. Don't give it away to anybody. And you treating yourself this way is treating yourself as worthy and taking care of the miracle that you are. You are a miracle. You got to treat yourself as one. And I know what it's like to not feel that and to learn to treat myself that way. And if I can do it, you know, you can do it too. You have the same capacity I have. So please, please don't forget you're a miracle. Please treat yourself like you matter.
Well, I'm going to go through the week with that sentiment completely. Thank you so, so much, Blake. Cannot wait to see you in a few days, just a few weeks to go. Safe flight when you travel, get over to us.
Thank
you, everyone. Thank you, everyone in the comments. And what a container that we've built together across the world. Thank you, everyone, for showing up and sharing. Thank you. Good night. Have a good day, everyone. Have a great day, Blake.
Thank you so
much.
See
you soon.
Take good care. Thank you. Thank you, Rosalind. Thank you, Josh, on the back end.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.